Hey, this is Mr. Reyes here to show you that math is a skill that you can learn. So, the rectangle on the right is a scaled copy of the rectangle on the left. What's a scaled copy? It means that it is a similar shape, it is drawn to scale, it is proportional. Identify the scale factor. Express your answer as a whole number or fraction in simplest form. Scale factor, what's that? Well, scale factor is what did this get multiplied by? This 6 and this 5, they were both multiplied by the same number to create the 2 and the 5/3. Let's figure out what that number is. Well, first of all, we need to notice that the size of this rectangle was changed, but the orientation was also changed. And by orientation, I mean they flipped it on its side. You see, they took this one, it has the long side is touching the ground right here. The long side is going left to right. And in this one, the long side is going up and down. So it's kind of like they took it and they just toppled it over to make it as tall as possible. But then they shrunk it as well. So to highlight that, I'm going to just use different colors. We'll use red for the first one. So we're going to focus on the shorter side, which is the 5 instead of the 6, and 5/3 is also the short side. I'll highlight that in blue because I think that's what they do in Delta Math. I think this is the color blue. And here we have, we flipped it so that the 5 is on the bottom and the 5/3 is on the bottom. And now we need to figure out what did this get multiplied by to become this. So times what? In other words, when you're trying to figure out what something had to be multiplied by to become something else, that is the perfect time to do division. So in other words, let's divide this by this. And it's like, I know some of you are shaking in your boots because you are a little scared to divide fractions because it's been a little while, but I'll show you. So 5/3 divided by 5. All you need to remember is a whole number is just a fraction over 1. Okay, and now it's a little more familiar. If you remember our chant, keep, change, flip, keep, change, flip, keep, change, flip. Okay, then you're gonna remember how to do this. So keep the first fraction, change the sign. We're going to change it to a star and not an X to signify multiplication, because X is a variable now. Now that we're in 7th grade, we don't use X to multiply. That's for babies, right? Keep, change, and flip. Okay, so now you just multiply across. 5 times 1 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. Now we need to simplify this, and you divide the top by 3 and the bottom by 3 as well. By 5, divide the top by 5 and the bottom by 5. You get 1 over 3. And now we need to check our work. Let's check our work. So did this actually get multiplied? Did 5 actually get multiplied by 1/3 to create 5/3? Let's try it. So you would check by 5 times 1/3. This is so sloppy. Equals 5 over 3. So it is correct. You could do the same for 6 times 1/3. It makes 2. If it doesn't make that number and you're checking your answer, you must have got it wrong.